Hey guys, welcome to Real Estate 101 with Todd Miranda. That's me. I'll be your instructor for today. I've been a licensed broker, licensed since 1988. I have served on multiple leadership boards throughout the state and locally on ethics committees, grievance committees, and as a director with the New York State Association of Realtors. And I'm very blessed to be able to do this business, and hopefully you could make this part of your life, and it's extremely rewarding. So let's get started. Real Estate 101. I'm going to go over just a few quick slides, give you a little introduction. What do you do as a realtor? How do you get started? That type of thing. So the objectives today: understanding the important role of real estate agents. You know, it's a serious responsibility being an agent, but it's not easy. 90% of agents do not make it. How many people have you heard or told you, yeah, I used to be licensed? There's a reason why they're not licensed anymore. It's a very tough industry. You really need the right training, support, mentoring, and probably the most important thing, commitment. That's the hardest thing. And how do you be committed when you're not making money right away? That's also a little bit of a challenge. So, understanding the important role of real estate agents and how they serve the community. Who regulates them? Well, in New York State, we are regulated by the Department of State. The New York Department of State regulates licensees in New York. And we are definitely very regulated, and I think it's a good thing. They pass laws, and very often New York State Association of Realtors, what we do as a membership group, as a trade association, is we lobby on behalf of new laws protecting home ownership, promoting home ownership, protecting tenant rights, and really raising the standard for real estate, not only in New York, but across the country. So we're going to go over a little bit. Another objective is discover the process of getting licensed. The next thing is identify the ethics involved in being a real estate agent. The important role of real estate agents. Real estate agents play such an important role in society. They are the gateway to housing. Agents typically hold the keys to housing. If people want to buy a home or sell a home, they're going to go to an agent majority of the time. You are what's called a fiduciary. So you have a serious responsibility to represent your client in the most extraordinary way, with fairness, with transparency, and honesty. You never lie to a client, customer. You never lie to anybody. Get into the habit. There's no need to lie. You give clear information. When I deal with clients, within 1 minute of speaking to me, if not 30 seconds, I think they want to work with me, and very often they do. Why? Because I build value. And I'm going to tell you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to be able to present a full picture, not just the sweet good things, the bad things, if there are any, but you have to, and that also builds credibility. Okay, so agents are the gateway to housing. It's such an important role, and we're like guidance counselors. People come to you, and the brother and sister want to buy a home. They're fighting, whatever the case is. Sometimes you got to come between, not come between, but really just you have spouses who are getting divorced. It's up to you to get the right information. Let me give you an example. You have a lovely young lady. She wants to sell her home. She's going through a divorce. You list a home. You better make sure of the legal situation between the husband and the wife. Who is on the deed? If the husband's on the deed, you really should get his permission and make sure he's on board. Number one, it could be a violation, potentially. Now, you only need one owner to list a property, even if there's 2, 3, or 4. However, in order to close on a property, you will need all sellers who are on the deed, all owners who are legal owners who are on the deed, they all need to cooperate and sign the closing documents, whether they're there or they do it with sometimes they could do it with a power of attorney document, but they need to cooperate. Another reason to do it is you don't want to waste your time. Your time is valuable. Get all the information. Understand the property. Search the property. Find out, are there violations? Be knowledgeable. Take your business seriously. And it's a great business because it's one of the only businesses. I'll give you an example. If I want to play tennis today, I'm going to play tennis today. I don't have to answer to nobody. Now, you get what you put in. So you want to be able to put in the required time and hours and phone calls and whatever it's going to take to get transactions. Deals are not just going to fall on your lap. I've built enough and put in the work already. I paid my dues, so naturally I train agents, and I spend most of my time training agents so they could do transactions. Yes, I get paid on those as the broker as well. I get an override. And if you're a team leader, and I train people to become I want everyone to become a team leader. You can get overrides as well, as far as managing a team. But you have to pay your dues and make the phone calls. You get what you put in. But you want to take off for a week, you take off for a week. One of the biggest problems I see for agents, they may be a bit too liberal with their time and maybe not spending enough time on their work. So you want to have a good schedule. You want to be a professional. Have a schedule. A daily schedule. And have a schedule of when you want to take off. Listen, I play tennis. Almost every day I play tennis. Sometimes I play in the morning early. I'll go to work. Most of the times I play later at night. You have that availability to do that, and it's a great option to have. Okay. Whether it's renting or owning, people need a place to live. People need food. They need housing. That will never change. Good market, bad market, doesn't matter. There are always people selling and buying. And 98% of the time, people would rather rent than own. The public looks to us for answers. So you always want to be transparent. If you don't know, say you don't know, and you'll find out. Okay, let's move on. Home ownership is the cornerstone of wealth creation in this country. I figure that owning a home in the New York, Long Island, and Westchester regions, New York City and the surrounding areas, the greater metropolitan area, home ownership is worth between $25,000 and $40,000 a year in your pocket. So every day you don't own, you're losing money. How do I come to that number? Well, let's say, for example, you bought a $500,000 home. Your mortgage, just take an argument's sake, is going to be $3,300, let's just say. You're paying, and you're a W-2 employee. As a W-2 employee, let's just say your salary is $100,000. That's pretty standard for a union worker today, give or take. So $100,000, you're probably paying around $28,000, $30,000, $32,000 a year in taxes, and they take it out of every check, and it hurts. Well, now, when you have a home, you can deduct your mortgage interest. Your closing costs, some of those that's a one-time tax deduction, but your mortgage interest is a every year tax deduction. So let's say, for example, you're paying $2,000 every year. I mean, it amortizes over 30 years. It's an amortization chart. You're paying more interest up front. But let's say, for example, $2,000 you're paying over 12 months. That's $24,000. You're going to get back $8,000 or $9,000 when you do your taxes as a refund, because you prepaid your taxes as a W-2 employee. They take it out of your check. They don't know your deductions. That's why we do your taxes. And when you send them in, when you get an accountant, a CPA, usually try and have a CPA would be better, then you'll get you get the refund. So, and then natural appreciation, 3 to 5% a year. Owning a home is worth money. That's how we build wealth in this country. It's kind of like a forced retirement account. I'd rather pay my own mortgage and build equity. Yes, than rent. Real estate agents. Now, if you're a member of an MLS or a board, I'm a member of the Long Island Board of Realtors. I used to be a member of also the Hudson Valley Gateway Association of Realtors. But as long as you're part of one MLS, you typically, 98% of the time, 98% of the MLSs, you also become part of the National, which is NAR, the National Association of Realtors. Funny little thing. How many times have you heard people say, let me get my realtor? I want to make a YouTube video on this because I think it's hysterical. How many times have you heard my realtor? Guess what? There's no such word as a realtor. It's realtor. And realtor, the term realtor is copyrighted and trademarked by the National Association of Realtors. So if you're not a member of NAR, the National Association of Realtors, you cannot legally use the phrase realtor for yourself. Anyway, quick little tidbit there. Getting licensed. You must be licensed to conduct real estate business. Now, you could help a realtor. You could provide leads, let's say, for example, and work for a realtor in marketing. But you must be licensed to show a home. You must be licensed to sell a home. Representing any client, whether it's a tenant, a landlord, a renter, a buyer, a seller, for compensation. 50 to 80 hours are most common in most states to get your real estate license. In New York, for example, many states have reciprocity. So New York has reciprocity with, I believe, 8 states. So once you get your license in New York, they will honor your education that you took, and all you got to do is put in your application, and they'll honor it in 8 other states. I think Georgia, Florida, New Jersey is not one of those. Why? Because they want a wall between New York realtors, because they want to protect their industry. They don't want to dilute it with millions of realtors. You can't blame them. In New York right now, you need 75 hours. You could do it in person or online, and you do not need to be licensed to be a real estate investor. By the way, very tough to be a wholesaler or investor today. Not a lot of margins out there. Ethics. Honesty. Honesty, honesty, honesty. There's no need to ever lie. It's good business practice. It's the only way. Fair housing. People have a right to fair housing with no discrimination steering a red line. FYI, a new law that was put in for about 2 years now, I believe in 2019-20, I'm sorry that I forgot. You cannot mention schools in New York State. It's considered steering. A lot of times people I don't necessarily agree with it, but it doesn't matter what I say. This is the law. People buy area, and they buy an area for the school district, but you cannot mention it. Just not steer them. Just send them to a public website, and they could do their own research on the public website. There's information all over the place. Article 17 of the Code of Conduct. That's some of the Code of Conduct for realtors. There's 17 articles, and learn the articles. It's great knowledge to have, and it'll keep you in the right place. Again, fair, honesty, transparency. You don't know, say you don't know. It's okay, but find out. And we'll go over this later in another module. So that's a little bit about Real Estate 101. I didn't want to make a half an hour, 30-minute. I wanted to try and keep this under 10 minutes. And that's what we're looking at. Please come to the next video and training. This is a great industry. As long as you have a good trainer, a good support system, you're committed, you can make this happen. I can guarantee you. And you could make very good money and have a very rewarding career. What's the biggest asset people ever buy in their lifetimes? A house. Why not provide that value and be a part of the community? Talk to you soon, guys.